Hi everyone, I'm Coach Julia from Infinity Martial Arts, and this is the tutorial for stance basics. In this form, you're going to be covering horse stance, front stance, and back stance. So before we get started with the tutorial, let's review our stances. When we're chambering our hands, we want to make sure that our elbows are pulled back super tight and our hands are on our hips or where our belt level is, pushing in nice and tight to our hips. So the first stance we're going to review is our horse stance. We've already learned how to do our 10 basics in our previous video, so if you haven't learned that yet, make sure to go back and review. We're going to be in our horse stance. Imagine that we are all done with our 10 basics, but for now we're just focusing on the actual stance. When we do a horse stance, we want our toes to be pointing forward, our bottom down in line with our knees, and we don't want our knees to sink in. We want them to be active and pushing out. Our chest should be up nice and tall, and we want our bottom to be tucked under. So where our tailbone is, end of our spine, you want to sit and tuck your tailbone under in order to get a nice tall chest. If we sit down and we stick our bottom out like this, yeah, our stance is easier to do and it's so low, but it doesn't look right because we need to tuck our tailbone under to prop our chest up. And that's how to do a proper horse stance. Next up is going to be our front stance. So hands back on our hips. When we do a front stance, we're going to start by C-stepping. This is going to be your left leg. It's my right leg. But go ahead and follow along from the camera. So we're going to step in with our left leg. You're going to step out to the corner, 45-degree angle. Step out to the corner. Your weight is 50-50. Also your horse stance, your weight is 50-50. So we should be right here in the center. Toes are forward on this foot, toes are forward on this foot. Your front knee is bent, your back leg is straight. So while we hold this, let's keep our hands tight against our hips. Our belt should be right in the center here. So we don't want our hips to accidentally point to the corner. Try to keep your shoulders and your hips pointing to the front. All right, let's try the other side. We're going to step together, and then we're going to step out, C-step, going out. We don't want to step too far out to the side. This is a common mistake. Our other mistake is maybe stepping too long so that our heels are in line. That's not correct. We need to be stepping out to the 45-degree angle, just like this. And always check your elbows. Are your elbows pulled back? Next is going to be our back stance. Bringing your hands back here again. So if you have a line somewhere where you're standing, go ahead and put your heels on that line. So for me, I've got this line on the floor. We're going to use that for reference. On a horse stance and a back stance, we want our heels to stay on the line the whole time. So hands on our hips. We're going to pretend like this is our front. I'm going to take my legs and step together here, toes together, and bend my knees. I'm going to take this foot and pre-pivot it just a little bit and point it towards the direction, and we're going to step out into a back stance here. A back stance is very similar to a horse stance. Here's a horse stance, here's a back stance. The difference is that my weight is more on my back leg. 60% on my back leg, 40% on my front leg. My chest should be facing the side. So if this is my front here, my front toes point to the front, my back toes point to the side. I want to try my best to push this knee bent and out really low here. And hands on the hips. Let's try on the other side now. So feet together, bend the knees, look towards your target. This is my new front. I'm going to point my toe towards my target, step out into a back stance, push your knee out, bend it, toes gripping the floor, pointing forward, and hold. All right, and that's how you do a back stance. So next, we're gonna do the form. I'm gonna teach it facing the back so that you can follow along from home. I will then turn around and face the front. We start off with 10 basics and go straight into our stance basics. Attention, bow, choon-bi, horse stance, punch, punch, upper block, down block, side block, shout, aya! And choon-bi, shout, aya! Hands pull back. Step in and front stance. 1, step back. Front stance to the right. 2, step back. Front stance, stepping back. 3, front stance, stepping back. 4, back stance. To the left, we're going to look with our head, step into a back stance. To the left, that's 5. Now we're going to step together. Look, and 6, back stance. To the right. 7, look to the front. We're going to step together with our left leg in front and back stance. Good. And now we're going to step back. 8, turn our chest to the side and back stance to the front and shout, aya! Pull those elbows back tight and step back. Choon-bi, attention, bow. Great job, everybody. Thank you for following along your stance basics. Go ahead and face me attention and bow. See you in the next video.